Hey, Mr. Wonderful here, and this is another episode of Ask Mr. Wonderful. Now, what I like about this is no holds barred. You ask me any question you want, and I give you the answers. You ask, I answer. Now, bring them on.
Hi, Mr. Wonderful. This is Micah from Jersey. So I recently started my own company, and I just want to know, when do you know when to start hiring employees? Right now, I have a few clients at hand, and I just want to know when is the best possible chance, like monetary-wise, to start hiring my first few employees, or should I continue doing things by myself and my partner?
Micah, great question. Let me tell you about adding employees. The only reason you add employees is sales is growing. You don't add employees unless revenue is increasing because you can't afford them. If you have sales growth, then you have to start thinking about getting support people so your customer service level stays in the top quartile. That's when you hire people. You're always keeping your eye on how do I service my customers, how do I make sure my employees are happy, how do I make sure my investors are happy. Those are your three constituencies. But number one is you've got to have happy customers. And the reason you bring on the risk of that extra overhead is you need employees to do that. So no hiring anybody until your sales go up. Every time you double your sales, you should add a couple of people to do customer service and support in all areas of the business, whether it's accounting, whether it's what you do online to support them, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales. Those people are supporting customers at the end of the day. That's how it works. No hiring anybody until sales go up.
Hi, Mr. Wonderful. My name is Luis. I am from Mexico and I've been following you for the past 4 years. I would like to ask you, because you have said in the past that you have been to every beach on earth. I want to know if that's even true, and how did you manage to accomplish such a difficult goal? How did you do that?
Luis, one of the benefits of traveling to every beach on earth is I met all the locals, tried all the local foods, and that's when I became Chef Wonderful, because I'm a fantastic chef, and I recreated all those dishes with my certain je ne sais quoi that I added myself. So my dishes all come from my journeys to all these countries and all these beaches, and now Chef Wonderful is born. Ooh la la.
Hi Kevin. Hi, this is Swapnil from India. Actually, I wanted to ask you that how can I overcome my self-doubt and other people's opinions, especially my close ones like my family, and how can I grow my business to the next level?
Swapnil, fantastic question. Every entrepreneur has self-doubt. It's just that you don't want to show it to the outside world. People want to follow somebody that knows where they're going. But you have to be able to deal with your insecurity. You can't let your family tell you you don't know what you're doing, not when you have a burning desire to be an entrepreneur. The key to success, though, is to find somebody that augments your skills. If you're great in one area, find someone who's better in another, that you're weak in. That's how you can really reduce your self-doubt and make your outcomes much better, because you're reducing your risk by getting a partner in the business. But don't let someone tell you can't do it. That's just crap, particularly your family. Many people are jealous about entrepreneurs. They want to try it, but they don't have the guts to do it. Even within a family that happens. Doesn't mean you don't love them. It's just you're not listening to them when they give you all that naysayer stuff. Stay focused on the goal and deal with your insecurities. Everybody has them. Ready? We're sitting on the set of Shark Tank season 11 being taped right now. All of this money is mine. When I make an investment, it's my personal cash. That's why I care about it so much. I care about these deals because it's my cash.
Hi, Kevin. Let's talk about branding. I saw you live at the NAC tour in Atlanta in July. One of the things you mentioned was branding is a new cost to consider. If damaged, it could cost billions of dollars. How could senior executives who is at the pinnacle in their career effectively invest in their personal branding?
An amazing question. Personal branding is really interesting. One of the reasons I'm doing this YouTube channel is to talk to people directly to see what I'm really like when I'm outside of the Shark Tank. I'm not wearing a suit right now. I'm just being honest with you about the decisions I have to make every day, like everybody else does. I'm an ordinary person like anybody else that focuses on the tasks I got to get done during the day. But you raise a really interesting question. Personal branding is about integrity and honesty because people smell bullshit from a mile away these days. And so you've got to be honest with people, even when it's hard to be honest. It's important to be honest because your reputation, takes a very long time to build, and you can lose it just like that if people feel you're being dishonest.
Hey, Mr. Wonderful. My question for today is, I'm 20 years old and I don't know what to put my main focus and attention to. Right now I'm going to college and I'm looking to start up e-commerce business like drop shipping and things like that, or creating YouTube, some sort of thing to create passive income. But I don't know if I should put most of my focus on that or school or continuing working. I really don't know.
Hey, Rula, let me give you some advice, a little bit of focus here. The two things I like to do simultaneously, and I always did, is I worked while I went to school. I picked a discipline that I thought would advance my opportunities as an entrepreneur or just in getting me more money in any job. And while I worked at night, I was often a waiter, or I slung a bar, or I slung beer at bars, and anything I could do to make money. I often worked weddings as a bartender. I did everything while I was in school. But I focused on disciplines that I thought I could turn into something later. So I did both, and I think maybe that's something you want to think about. Why just only have one? When you're young, you have lots of energy. You only need 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Spend the rest of the time learning and working. Cash and knowledge, they go hand in hand. Good luck.
Hi Kevin and Lori. I was wondering, so I'll give you a little background knowledge first. In 2016, you did like an interview on CNN Business, the YouTube channel.
He already knows that.
And I was wondering, so back then I saw it in 2016 when I was 11 years old, and I watched every single episode of Shark Tank, and you were talking about your dyslexia, and at that time I was in 5th grade, and I was still inverting all my letters and numbers. So could you talk more about how you kind of like became super successful, but you also had like a disability at the same time, because it really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Biggest fan. Thank you. Maxie, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, June, great question. Sounds like you have a little dyslexia too, and it comes in various forms, and everybody's different with it. I was really falling behind at your age in reading and math because of dyslexia, and I found this wonderful woman named Marjorie Golick, and she had a partner named Sam Rabinovich, and they brought me into a class. I think 16 to 19 of us all had dyslexia, and they taught us that dyslexia is a superpower because I could read a book upside down in a mirror, which is a strange thing, one of the attributes of dyslexia, you never know, and that's one of the reasons I was inverting my letters too. But she said, look, one of the biggest problems with dyslexia and how to overcome it is that don't let it eat away at your self-confidence. Go back into that classroom where people are giving you a hard time and say, look, I'm actually a superpower. I can do things you can't do. I can read this book upside down in a mirror, you can't. And the kids in my class went, whoa, how'd you get that superpower? I said, well, it's just one of the superpowers I have. It's called dyslexia, but I don't use it against you. I'm just using it to advance myself. And it was a way of just getting into the self-confidence of getting around the problem of having to learn with that. So if I had to read with a mirror, I did. But it got me through math and reading scores, and you'd be surprised to learn. Damon John, who I work with on Shark Tank, who's been wildly successful, he has dyslexia. The guy that started JetBlue Airlines, he had dyslexia. This is not something that's going to hold you back. In fact, it can even be a powerful ally to give you self-confidence in business. So I wish you the best, but don't let it ever hold you back. It doesn't have to. There's lots of examples of us that are in this special superhuman club that we use to our advantage.